Hello everyone, this is Advocate Meghana Derevan and I welcome you all to MSD Legal channel. You are watching Know the Law series and today we are going to discuss legal requirements and legal aspects of the will. Will is nothing but the document which is made by the person so that his self-owned property or ancestral property that may be received to him, or any kind of property or rights which can be received to him after the making of will, and how it is to be distributed to the beneficiaries and to his legal heirs. So the entire scheme of distribution of his property is nothing but will, and the beauty of this document is executed after the death of the maker, that is the testator. So it is very important and crucial that the drafting of the will should be made by the professional advocate, so that there is no ambiguity or there is no error in the drafting of the will itself. So let us start with today's discussion. Let us first understand what should be the key contents of the will. So to the extent possible, maximum of the property that is to be distributed shall be incorporated into will. So this goes as all movable and immovable property, whether it is a residential property or any land or building that it may be owned by the person. Then entire cash and bank profile, that is the bank, then his investment, then any kind of shares that should be also included in the will. Apart from this, any jewelry or any important artifact or any uh, article which is of sentimental and emotional value to the maker, which he wants to hand over to the next generation and he wants to make note of the same, that can be incorporated into will. However, it is very important that whatever he is incorporating is belong to himself, that is his self-owned property, or it is belong to him through a share of ancestral property, or anything which is received to him after the will is made and it is being received in future. So let us understand whether this will should be executed orally or in writing. Of course, there is no compulsion that it should be done in writing. However, we all know that any oral document or any oral agreement cannot be enforced in fruitful manner. Hence, it is always advisable that will always be in writing. Now, again, there is no requirement that it has to be a registered document. It can be a simple handwritten document by the maker himself or the testator himself, which is called as holographic will in legal parlance. But this will suffers from the legal risk, such as errors in the drafting, or there is some legal ambiguity, or it is against the provisions of law. So all those things makes the will exposed to the legal risk, and then the beneficiary may not receive the benefits or the rights through such will, and it can be challenged in court of law, which further makes it very complicated. It also spoils the relationship between the legal heirs, and again the time and money which is spent on the litigation is also very high. That is why it is always advisable that you consult a proper advocate and you get it registered through a proper professional advocate, so that it is drafted in legal parlance considering all provisions of law and the desire of the maker. Let us understand which are the types of will. There are numerous types of will, which one I have already mentioned, that is holographic will. Another type of will is conditional will, wherein the property or certain right is being transferred to beneficiary based on certain precondition which he is supposed to fulfill, and hence it is not an open and clear will, and it is subject to that condition, and hence it is called as conditional will. Another form of will is onerous will, where the property is being transferred to the beneficiary. However, it comes with additional burden or some kind of an onus. For example, a bungalow is being transferred to a son of the maker. However, that bungalow is suffering from carrying heavy mortgage loan upon the same. Now, when he is receiving, that is the son, when he is receiving the bungalow, he is also liable to clear off the debt of that mortgage loan. Thus, the such will becomes the onerous will, and that creates burden for the beneficiary. Another form of will is joint will, wherein two or more persons, when they own a single property or a particular property, they make a joint will of that particular property regarding the distribution of the such property. It is called as a joint will. Now let us understand the legal background of the will and which law governs law on will as such. Indian Succession Act 1925 section 63 talks about the rules regarding the will, or more specifically unprivileged will. Now let us understand what is privileged will. Typically people who are working on in army, or who are working on the boat or in navy, who are less available on the land to fulfill the other conditions as given in section 63. Therefore they are given special privilege where they can orally inform their trustworthy person about the scheme of arrangement about the distribution of property post their death, and that scheme of arrangement can be informed by that trusted person to the beneficiaries in oral basis. Of course this is a very this requires very high level of trust and confidence, but at the same time that privilege is given since these people are not available to fulfill the conditions of section 63. Now let us understand what are the requirements of section 63. Section 63 clearly talks about the rules about the making of the will. Mainly, when any testator is making the will, he must ensure that there are two or more witnesses who are present and who are seeing him signing the will for execution of such will. At the same time, there should be a medical practitioner who is certifying about the mental and physical fitness of the maker of the will, that is the testator, and that he understands the legal implications of signing of that will, and he is totally fit to execute such will, and he understands the legal parlance of that execution. Now it is very important that all witnesses and testator should see each other signing the document, which is called as attestation. And here I want to stress upon the role of the witnesses. Whereas the witnesses are not supposed to know, or they are not required to know the content of the will. However, it is required that they should ensure the mental and physical fitness of the maker, and it is always advisable that witnesses are of younger age than of a maker, so that in future if they are required to come for any witness, they would be, it is highly probable that they would be available. Secondly, it is important that every will contains that it is the last will of the maker, and even if there are any earlier versions, they will become futile, or they will become useless after making a new will. This simply implies that person can change or alter his will any time during his lifetime, and there is no complicated procedure for the same. However, it is always required to understand and to note in the will that this document, or the latest will which is made by the testator, is considered as final, and the property is distributed as per the latest will. Now let us understand about the registration. Registration is not compulsory. However, we always advise our clients to get a will registered for two main things. One is it is less expensive. Second is it has a waiver of stamp duty, which was 100 rupees earlier. Now you hardly have to pay registration charges and scanning charges for the purpose of registration, and it is done. So it is hardly any expensive as such from cost point of view. Thirdly, all the witnesses and the maker himself has to remain present at registration office, and it is being government office. It is a independent authority which is doing the attestation work. The biometrics are being taken, the photographs are taken to ensure that the person himself was available and he has himself done a registration of that will. Not only that, it is videographed and the CD is also provided along with the registration, so that there are no questions or there are no doubts which are being questioned later on. Therefore, it is always advisable to consider the registration of will. Considering the nature of properties, in fact, considering the valuation of properties, cost of hiring an advocate and getting it registered is hardly of peanuts. But it clearly negates the future litigation or any confusion or doubt or any disputes between the legal heir. Therefore, it is always advisable to do it in a procedural manner in the legal framework. Now, let us understand the role of executor. Who is executor firstly? The testator may appoint a person who is a trusted person of him, and he may ensure that whatever arrangement is given in the will shall be implemented in the same manner as it is given in the will, and that is where the role of executor comes into picture. Any person can be given as an executor. In fact, lot of people appoint their advocate as an executor, as an independent person, and they may specify certain remuneration for the purpose of administration of that will. Once that death happens, once it is informed that death has happened of the testator, the executor's role starts, and he has to ensure that all the properties shall be handed over in the manner in which it is given in the will. So this is the overall background of will. I am sure you must have understood most of the legal background of the will. And if there are any doubts or any questions, let me know in the comments below. Also, there are other useful topics which are being taken in this series, which are already uploaded in the channel. So do watch them and like, share and subscribe to this channel. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra. Namaste.